guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you can, subscribe. My name is Alan. I own my own AI agency called Porn Enterprises, and we don't just really focus on AI. I also focus on web development and software development for small businesses and companies, right? I do have a master's degree in business analytics, but that does not mean anything. Anybody could start this business, and I hope this video can motivate people to just get into the grind of starting their own AI agency, right? So today we're going to simply build an AI agent, right? And this will be useful for barbershops, right? And I see a lot of, I guess, agents that they build, right? And sometimes they're a little bit more complex, more and more they do more things, I guess, right? And to be honest, all you need is a simple, straightforward AI agent that can simply do the tasks that a barber needs. And mine will be a little different. Why? Because I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you to make, and also as simple as possible for the barber to use, right? And also this eliminates headaches and eliminates other things that can cause the AI agent to go through errors, problems, stuff like that. So the simpler, the better, but it's also cost effectively, so it'll save money, save time, and it'll basically be something that you can make profit out of, right? Depending on what's the barber's budget, depending what they're looking for, right? So you price it at your own liking. Something like this, I'll price it more or less between 500 to $1,000 to build. And then monthly fee, it'll be 150 a month, I'll say. To be honest, it's not really, that's me. I see it's something that's super simple to build and it's not super crazy, but it does get the job done and it does be something effective for the barber, right? So let's go ahead and get to it, and hopefully you enjoy the video and learn something from it. And after this video, click the subscribe button, and we'll keep making more content. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I call this agent the barbershop agent, right? And it's super simple to build, like mentioned before. And to be honest, it's really cost effective, right? Because sometimes it does take I guess some quite of an investment to build, right? Like time, money, and stuff like that. But you always want to do something quick, right? Something quick that's going to be effective for the business and it's going to solve problems, right? And I know that barbers use a lot of Booksy and stuff like that, which can be a little for them. It could be sometimes too expensive. Maybe it could be they don't understand it, or it could be troublesome, I guess, for them, right? But this agent, you basically customize it at their own liking, and they will make it however they want. They make it do the tasks that they want, right? Here simply we're just going to be a barber agent that's going to book appointments and also take payments, right? So it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's pretty simple. It's not going to be crazy out of this world stuff that you cannot handle or do. And I'll show you everything, walk through step by step on how to build it, and I'll show you also what is needed to build this, and also what's will cost money to um, to invest on, and what will be free, right? So that way you can tell the barber that this is going to be the fee, right? The maintenance fee or electricity bill that they're going to pay apart from your maintenance fee, right? So yes, the barber does handle the payments part, right? The payment area. So he meaning that um, for example, if you're gonna run this agent through n8n, yes, they're gonna take care of paying the n8n account, and they're also gonna take care of paying all those fees for the platforms that they will use to build this agent, right? You're not going to pay none of that. So they're going to pay you the maintenance fee, and on top, they're going to pay those fees to run that agent, right? And you can always word it differently for them. You could tell them, yes, on top from a maintenance fee, the 150 a month, I'm going to charge you the what's it called? I'm gonna charge you the, well, not myself, but you're gonna be charged the electricity bill to keep this agent running, right? Which makes sense, right? You can also another thing that I will do is on your price, right? You can include that maintenance fee. On the maintenance fee price that you charge them to for this agent, you can charge a little bit more. That way you can take care of paying the fees for them, right? As well. You can do that, or you can do the simple, straightforward way where you let them know. So the maintenance fee is 150 a month. and also the electricity bill is going to be, let's say, $50 a month, right? So this is just to run the agent, right? This is not to it doesn't go for me. This is just to, it's like electricity bills, like rent, right? To have this agent running and going and flowing, right? So anyways, so it's called the barbershop agent, right? So this agent here, sorry. So this agent here will, like mentioned, right, we're going to use n8n, right? So the tools and software, we're going to use n8n, and we're going to build it with a couple nodes, which will be Google Docs, Telegram, OpenAI, and Stripe, right? And the reason I did not include call.com is because call.com is going to be separate. You're going to build that separately, which is free, and it's a booking platform to book appointments and all that stuff. And it's super easy to use, and it makes everything and your life easy, right? So call.com will be separate. Stripe, you're gonna it's also gonna be separate actually. Stripe is also gonna be separate. You're gonna include a link from Stripe for the for the AI agent to use whenever somebody asks for they want to give a payment or something like that, right? You will see later on what I mean by that. And then Google Docs, Google Docs is gonna be where you build um the knowledge base for the agent so that way he can pull that information from that Google Docs whenever questions are asked about the time, the costs or prices, whatever, or any other task you want the agent to do, you can put it in the Google Docs knowledge base. And I'll show you how to build that as well. So OpenAI, we're gonna use that as our AI agent, right? It's gonna be our simple memory, and it's gonna be the OpenAI node that we're gonna use to build the chat. And then Telegram will be where you're gonna access that agent, right? Where the user is gonna access the agent, they're gonna use Telegram to access that agent, right? So yeah, pretty straightforward. Like I said, Cal.com, Stripe, we're gonna build them. We're gonna use them separately on the side, and we're gonna build everything up. Which, to be honest, Stripe is just you're just gonna build the product and get the link, right? That's pretty simple. And then call.com, same thing. You just build a new calendar and you put all that stuff together and it will make sense at the end. So that's for the tools and software, and then we'll have the cost to run, right? And I don't know why it's glitching there. That's kind of weird. I don't know why there's a line there. Anyways, but cost to run, right? So everything that's going to be free, it's on the left hand side, which will be Google Docs, Telegram, Stripe, and Cloud.com, right? Sorry, let me lower myself there so you can see a little bit on the Stripe. So yeah, so everything else it's basically the whole thing is almost free, right? It's just the like the n8n where you have to pay the $25 a month, right? Which makes sense, but you have 2,500 executions, so it could be used um that many times. So and what execution means is, for example, every time a person sends a message on the Telegram chat, they're gonna they're that's one execution, right? So that's how executions works. Every time the n8n workflow is run, that's a execution, and you get 2,500 of those. So of course you can, let's say if the barber gets over 1,000 clients, and you can always upgrade to the more expensive plan a month. It just depends whatever the user is using, but usually $25 a month is for somebody that's, they have a business that it's good flow, but it's not super crazy. So yeah, definitely. So it's free. Like I said, Google Docs is free, Telegram is free, Stripe is free, Call.com is free. The only thing, if you want to add, which what I do add um, some extra fees on that, because it's $1 for 100 credits. So basically, those credits are used if you want to build, how can I say, some automated workflow through call.com. So and the reason that it's really beneficial and it's really cool because it's super cheap to use. Literally, it takes I think like a credit or two. It's a credit per per execution. Same like n8n. So what it does is basically you build the agent through n8n, but in cloud.com you set up that automated workflow where basically whenever a client books an appointment, before they book the appointment, it's going to ask for information, right? Which is their name, um, add additional notes, their email, their phone number, and yeah. So they choose the date, right, and time, whatever. And once they do that, they submit and they book the appointment. Um, Using call.com, you can basically send a message notification to the client, letting them know that they have booked the appointment. But also, the barber gets the message, letting them know, hey, you have an appointment with this person tomorrow at this time, right? And also, there could be an email that could be sent as well, as a as a notification as well. So you can use two messages, which will be one for the user and one for yourself, so you can or sorry, one for the user and one for the barber, so the barber can know that he has an appointment booked. And then it could also be sent through email. So that's really beneficial and it's super cheap. So you can do that straight through cloud.com. That's what I'm saying. That cloud.com is super cool and super simple to use, and you can build those automated workflows through there, the platform itself, and it's super simple. And I'll show you how to build that. Don't worry. And then, like I said, so you pay $25 a month for n8n, and then OpenAI, and that's for ChatGPT, OpenAI developer. So you add credits, which is $10. Literally, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've added $10 a couple months ago to do test runs, right? And literally, I'm barely at like a $9.41. So literally, it's super cheap. Just with $10, you manage to use for texting. Um, and you add that through OpenAI. So literally it's like $35 a month. And let's say $40 a month, you can basically um that could be your set electricity bill to run this agent, right? And to be honest, the $25 a month is the only thing that you're gonna have to pay monthly. The $10 is not really only a one-time thing from my experience. So the $10 you're only gonna pay once. So literally you're just gonna have to pay the cloud.com credits if they want those automated workflows, and then the $25 a month. So technically speaking, it's only going to be, let's say, $35 a month or something like that, right? So it's literally super cheap to run, and literally you can charge your maintenance fee, and then the electricity bill is not going to be a big deal because it's $35 a month on top from your maintenance fee. So yes, so literally, like I said, almost everything is free. It's just the n8n you have to pay, and then the OpenAI one-time thing to pay, and then also the call.com if you want to use those automated workflows, right? So how does it work, right? So this is actually how the workflow is going to look at the end, right? So you use the Telegram trigger, right, to um to basically send a message on the conversation, and then after the message gets delivered, right, the agent will pull that. It will use OpenAI chat model, and then simple memory, and also will use the AI agent prompt to reply back with the send a text message, right? So basically, as you can see here, we have the open chat model and then the simple memory, and then so here it's called Anthony Cuts. That's how I named it for one of the clients. And it's just a document, right? You can name it however you want, but you have to specify. So basically, the name of that document there on n8n, it says Anthony Cuts. So in the AI agent prompt, you have to make sure you put that name so that way it can know it can pull data from that, right? And Wikipedia, you don't really need that. I just have it there because I made it extra. I made it extra where that way you can ask it anything. So you basically I basically made it like a chat GPT, in other words, for that specifically barber. So they ask questions about the barbershop, but they also can ask generic questions, you know what I mean, about anything, whatever. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't really need that much notes, and it does gets the job done, and that's all that you need to do in it. And of course, I'm gonna show you how to connect everything, how to put everything together, and then we'll go from there. So, anyways, this was just a little presentation. Let's get to the video and walk you through step by step how to build this awesome barbershop agent that can get you some monthly income retainers, right? And let's do it. All right, you guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and build this n8n from scratch. So this is going to be super cool. First things first, I know I said we're going to use Telegram, but before we even get to the Telegram part, we're going to start it as a general chat prompt that's integrated here in n8n. And it's good to run tests before you even do the final thing, right? You can test it and see if everything works accordingly, how it needs to work. So let me show you how that's done. You click on the over here, and you're gonna add the trigger node, which is when a message is received. And once I have it here, I'm gonna do a little test run here. So in order to open the chat is really simple. You click open chat and it'll open. Click a test message there. Hi. Here we go. Now we're gonna tie in everything else. So we're gonna do the AI agents. It's pretty straightforward. It's gonna show red right now because nothing is connected, but we'll get that here in a second. So we're gonna add a system message, and the system message I actually provided here, and it's pretty straightforward. I'll show you guys right now what the system message is. Let me put it as expression. So we're gonna go here to expression, and so this is gonna be the title of the prompt, and it's basically gonna explain everything. So as I'm explaining, I'm gonna change up the name. So you are Nancy. So this is basically saying the name of the prompt, but let's change it to the name Ava, an AI assistant for Anthony Cuts. So in our case, I'm gonna change the name here because we're gonna use prototype. This is gonna be the name of the this is basically where the Google Docs file name goes. So in our case, it's prototype Barbershop. So it's gonna be different from the Anthony Cuts, which is that I made that for another client. So we're gonna change that up here as well. There we go. So here to help customer with any questions about services, pricing, hours, and booking, you have access to all the information found in the document labeled Prototype Barbershop, which provides accurate and up-to-date answers based on the content. So here are the instructions of the agent. If a user asks to book appointment um, or anything clearly means the same thing, immediately send them to the cow.com booking link, which you will get from the cow.com platform itself, which I'll show you guys here in a few how to get it. So book an appointment. So the reason it's in brackets, it's because I'm trying to create a hyperlink. So I'm letting the AI agent know that whenever they ask about or they want to book an appointment, it'll send them the link to cow.com. But instead of sending the whole link, it's just gonna send book an appointment um as a clickable link, right? So it's gonna look clean. So I'll show you guys right now what I mean by that. It's gonna look super nice. And when starting the booking link, remind the user to fill out all the required information on the appointment form, including their name, email, phone number, and any additional notes. So all this is when they're booking the appointment, call.com asks for this information. So just letting them know that to elaborate and fill out this information as needed. And after sharing the booking link, also include the payment link so clients can conveniently pay after their haircut on the day of the appointment, right? So in our case, we're going to use Stripe, but you can always add any link, right? Maybe you have a Cash App link or a PayPal link, whatever, so you can add it there. But here we're going to use the same format as the book an appointment link. We're going to pay with Stripe. We're going to use the brackets, right? So that way it could be a hyperlink and it could look nice and clean. And if you cannot find an answer in the prototype, let's change the name of the document here. The prototype barbershop document, let the user know and politely offer to help in another way, or direct them to contact an email that you want to use, whatever. We can keep this email for further assistance. Be friendly, confident, and personable, like trusted barbershop receptionist who knows every cut, every style, and makes everyone feel welcome. Output requirements always provide clear and accurate, helpful answers when referencing information. Rely on the Anthony Cuts document, which I'm going to use the prototype document here. There we go. Keep your tone chill, professional, and a little fun. Think of a like chatting with a regular at the barber shop. Feel free to sprinkle in short, natural phrases like "No worries, you're in a good hands" or "Ava, got you covered." So here, like I said, this is pretty much stating what you want the prompt. This is the system message of what you want the prompt to do. It's giving it instructions. You're building it, right? This is not the knowledge base. It's just um, basically you're giving it the functionalities of what you want it to do, right? So in this case, we're good here to go. So let's change it back to fixed because we're not gonna use it as an expression or anything. So that's good to go. So right now it's showing red because it's not tied to anything, but we're going to tie it here and it's going to change to green. There we go. So it's good to go. So the chat here, this actually it just means that it's pulling the message that we used or we sent. So here it's the chat input, which is hi, and it'll pull the hi and it'll reply back to you, right? So we're going to add the model and we're going to use OpenAI, right? So here to connect this is pretty straightforward. It's literally doesn't take too much. The API key, you're gonna get it. You don't have to use the organization ID. The API key, you get it from the platform itself here, OpenAI platform. So you click on API reference. Once you click on API reference, you have the authentication and you click on organization settings. And then there, you're going to create a new secret key, right? And then to add the funds that I told you, the $10, or you can add five here. You'll add it here on the billing, and you can add it. Um, and it's actually pay as you go, right? So yeah, so whenever you want to add the funds, you add them here. Like I said, right now I have $9.41, and I put $10 a couple months ago, and I've been running executions, a couple executions with different agents, and I'm still there. So it's pretty cheap. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward to get those to get that information, API keys, all that stuff. So yeah, so in our case, we're already connected. And we're gonna use GPT 4.1 mini. So for me, that's been really useful. It works fast and it's really efficient. So we're gonna use that. And then we're gonna add simple memory, right? And here, it's gonna connect the session ID, which is here. It's gonna be connected automatically in this case, so we don't have to connect it. And then we're gonna add the Google Docs tool, which will be somewhere around here. There we go. So we're gonna add that, and it's already connected. If you actually want to find out how to connect this, it's actually takes like 5 minutes to do. You can check out the video that I'll provide for you guys, and the link below, so that way you can check on how to connect the Google to API to your n8n. It doesn't take too much, and actually you can get this information from n8n itself. It'll give you some docs to access it, right? For the sake of this video, we're just gonna already be connected. So we're gonna click get, and we're gonna get the doc ID or URL. So this you will get actually from the docs itself. So actually here, this is the docs. I already created it, right? And basically, you can make it at your own liking. Just make it as informative as possible, so that way the knowledge base can know and pull all this information. It's basically like trying to scrape a website is scraping a document, right? So that way you can know what kind of information it is, right? So we have all the service and pricing, we have the payment methods, accepted appointments, health, parking and accessibility, staff skills, social media, frequently asked questions, all this good stuff, right? All this important stuff that a person might ask that's useful, it'll come out here on this knowledge base, right? So make sure that this knowledge base Google Docs is actually on the general access is anyone with the link, because if it's on private to yourself or restricted, it's uh, once you execute the node, it's not going to be able to access it because of those restrictions. So just make sure it's public to everybody. So you can copy the link from here, or you can get the link from here. It's totally up to you. And you just paste it there, and that's pretty much it on that. So, oh yeah, so we got to make sure we name it accordingly to the to the file name. I always name it the same as a file name because it makes it easier. That way, everything's named the same, and when you build your prompt and the instructions, it's gonna reference it as prototype barbershop. So make sure it's referenced at that. So that once that's ready, we go back to the chat agent, right? And actually, let's save it, and we're gonna click hi again, and it's gonna work accordingly. It's gonna pull the information from the AI agent, OpenAI chat model, simple memory. So hey there, welcome to Prototype Barbershop. Ava here, ready to help you out. What can I do for you today? Whether it's about styles, prices, booking, fresh cuts, I've got you covered, right? So let's ask a couple questions. What are the hours of operation? Right? And then I'll go to the prototype barbershop document here, and I'll actually give the hours of operation. So our Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're closed Saturday, Sundays, perfect for weekly fresh cut. Keep your cut looking sharp. Need to book an appointment? I'm here to help you with that too. So let's ask for prices. What are the prices? And I'll actually pull the pricings. and prices and all that good stuff. There we go. So it's gonna give you all the prices, right? All that good stuff, right? And same thing, we accept cash on your credit card, Venmo, Cash App. If you're ready to book or want more info, any services, just holler. I can send the booking link to lock your spot. So that's ready to go. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple to build. It's really useful. So let's go over here to cal.com and we're gonna create a new calendar and we're gonna name it prototype barbershop. There we go. And this is going to be the URL that you're going to use for that. And you can describe it just on barbershop, whatever. Just put whatever duration. It could be, so let's say 60 minutes, right? Because maybe that's how much an hour cut takes. So we can put it at 60 minutes. So continue, and then you could always edit your hours of operation, right? In this case, I don't. It's already in default working hours because I set it. Because you can always make your own schedule. American Chicago, keep that in mind. Whenever you're scheduling, so that way it can know that it's American Chicago hours. You can also put that in your knowledge base or in your prompt, so that way you can know that it's American Chicago hours. Because maybe if you have it as America Los Angeles, um, it'll mess up everything when you're trying to book an appointment or whatever. So make sure this is always accurate and the same. Limits, you can always add limits. You can add your own stuff. Advanced calendar. Here you connect it. So here is pretty cool. This is where you connect it to your Google Calendar, and you just basically use um, you can tie it into any of your calendars, your Google Calendar, specifically. And once you make an account with them, it will allow you to connect your Google Calendar, right? So it's integrated here. And this is pretty cool. So here on the workflows, this is what I meant where you add the funds, right? So here, actually, let's see if we can make a new, um, so the workflows, let me see if I remember correctly how to create the workflows. So yeah, so we go here to workflows and we're gonna create a new one. Sorry guys, I had a little brain fart there. So we're gonna create from scratch, right? We're gonna create the workflow from scratch, and then this case we're gonna name it prototype prototype barber shop. We're gonna name it there. And here we're gonna use it before event starts, right? Or you can do it after it starts, or so always how long 24 hours which app will this apply to. So we're going to put it only for the event of the prototype barbershop, which is the calendar we created, right? So here you can send an email, and I believe this is actually free to use. You only need credits whenever you're going to send a message, but here it's pretty simple. um, you can I don't think you can edit this and because it's on the free version. If you do pay and add credits, you can definitely edit this. But in this case, it stays like that. But you can always delete it. And let's say we're gonna add the SMS to attendee, right? So sender ID, you can name it Pro Barber Shop Barber. Let's put Pro Barber there. Make a phone number required for the booking. Yeah, so you make sure you require it so that way they can do that. And actually, no special characters. Totally forgot about that. There we go. And it's going to be the reminder, right? And you can set it at your own liking. So right now it's set like this. And you can delete that also. You don't need that. And yeah, so it's actually, as you can see, organizer. So let's say the barber's name is John. So the organizer is automatically gonna read it as John, depending in the calendar information and all that stuff. So you can have it set like that, or you can just put I sorry, actually organizers the person that booked the appointment. Sorry. So anybody that books the appointment, that's gonna be the attendee, right? So the event name, the date, time, attendees, which is you. Um, you is the barber, and then the attendee and the location, right? All that good stuff. And you could always delete or add more stuff. And it's definitely up to you, however you want to have it. If you want to have it like that, um, in a vertical way or just as a one message thing. It's definitely up to you. So yeah, so here, once they provide their phone number, it's gonna send a message to that number they provided, right? So then we're gonna add another action, and this is gonna be SMS to specific number, and this is where you're gonna add the number of, for example, the barber, or actually, yes, the barber, um, and that way they can get the notification as well, right? So in this case, we're gonna add a number here, and yeah, so we're gonna use sender. That this is how you want the message to show, like the user, right? We're gonna send a specific number. We're gonna click at, and there, this number is verified. Um, because these are already used. This is a number that I've already been using. But in some cases, to verify, you just click send code, and it'll send a code to that number, and then you have to verify it. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. And same thing, event name. It'll tell you about the event, attendees, and it'll tell you the name of the attendee. So this is pretty cool. So like I said, this is a workflow that you create, and yeah, you can create it for for the event that you want. And this is why I said that you add um for $1, I think it's like 100 credits. So yeah, so it's pretty cheap. So you add that here, you save it, go back over here, go back over here to events, click prototype, and then the workflow show here, which is just this one, Barber prototype. And it's pretty simple to use. Like mentioned, it doesn't take too much. And actually, if you want to add funds to your account, you go to settings and manage billing, right? And here you can add the credits, right? So 50 credits is 50 cents. And let me see, buy. Yeah, so 50 cents credits, it's pretty cheap, to be honest. It's 1 cent. Actually, it's 1 cent each. So yeah, so every time you use it, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And I think I left cloud.com, so let me go back to it. There we go. So yeah, so we're gonna to get the link, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You're gonna click copy link here. Let's see, and you're gonna go back over here to your base. Or you guys are gonna copy the link here that we got from cloud.com. You're just gonna change this link here, paste it there. There we go. So it's going to be for the prototype barbershop. So now we have that. We can go to Stripe. And in Stripe, you create an account, right? You create a business account or just a random account. And you're going to go to payment links, right? And you're going to create a new link, right? And you're going to, let's say, prototype barber shop. Here we go. You can always upload an image, make it your own liking, whatever. Yeah, so you can customize it, and make it for whatever it is, right? So we're gonna click here. Let's say barbershop pricing. Here we go. And yeah, like I said, you could always add an image, advanced options, add more things to it, make it straightforward, make it simple, right? And in this case, we're gonna make it so just press an amount. So you can just charge a certain amount or just simply leave it as, so that way they can put the amount, kind of like Cash App and stuff like that. So you create the link. So this is going to be the link here. It's already created, good to go. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, pretty simple. And you're going to add it here to here, the Stripe. There we go. So now you have the link. Back over here, save it. Let's try again. Do a test. And since it has sample memory, it kind of remembers information, right? So let me try again here. Let me refresh, because sometimes you have to refresh to get with the agent. So that's normal, don't worry. So let's click hi. We go. Same thing. Let's say, can I book an There we go. So you see, so I put the information from here, right? So the reason they didn't pull it from here because it did not need the knowledge base. But as you can see, absolutely, you're in good hands. You can book your appointment right here. So if you press on this link, it'll take you to the calendar, and here the client will definitely book the appointment depending on the hour of operations that you provided, right? So let's say for Friday, because today's Thursday, right? So Friday, they'll book an appointment, and they put their name, email address, additional notes, their phone number. That way they could get the notification. And yeah, so they booked the appointment there. That's that. And then over here, and hey, when you come in for a fresh cut, you can officially pay for this link with Stripe. So you click on Stripe, and it'll open the link to the Stripe, and they put the amount, and then pay with whatever, and they'll pay. Anything else you need know or need help with, same thing, what are the prices, for example, get the prices, pull it from that document. You see, it's pretty straightforward. So it's something really useful you can use for barbershops, and you can charge not too expensive, whatever they can pay. Usually, the way I work is usually I always ask them what their budget, right? If they have a budget, we work with that budget, right? Some certain things, sometimes all these I guess people on TikTok and stuff like that, they have their pricing at $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 to build this agent. Yes, I understand. You can charge super crazy amounts because it's something that it's you creating a system for them that's going to help their business grow. But in certain occasions, if you're starting up, it's as you can see, it doesn't take too long to do. It doesn't take too long to build. It doesn't take a genius to build this. So you can always work with the client, hey, what's your budget? You have a budget. It's like, oh, well, I have a budget of $300, $400. It's like, all right, we'll build you the best system we can, and you can network yourself eventually to get more clients, and then eventually charge more and more and more. It all depends, right? Because you're not gonna charge $1,500 to a barber that only has 10 clients a month, right, or something like that. They you need to work with them as well, so make sure you keep that in mind whenever you build an agent, right? But in this case, it's pretty straightforward on how to do that. And yeah, so now we can actually integrate the Telegram, so that way we can finish up this um agent and make it useful for for make it useful for everyone, and using Telegram, right? Which is the main case here, right? But other than that, everything else is super simple, super straightforward to use, and I'll show you guys right now. Towards the end, once everything's ready to go, we'll do a conversation through Telegram, and then you'll once you book the appointment, I'll show you the the messages that the user gets, when they book the appointment, right? So, anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Let's make sure we could add the Telegram. All right, you guys. So now let's go ahead and add the Telegram nodes, so that way we can put everything together through Telegram and make it work, right? So now we're gonna delete the message that we had, the on chat message trigger, and we're gonna add a new trigger, and we're gonna add the Telegram trigger, right? And it's gonna be on message. So we're gonna use Telegram on message, and here we're gonna have it here. We're gonna connect it, right? So we're gonna connect it here, and to make this run. So the access token, it's going to be provided by the bot father on Telegram. And let me show you how that's done. It's pretty simple. You're going to go to Telegram, and you're going to search out bot father, and it has a verified check mark. That's how you're going to know it's legit. So you're going to click new. Automatically it'll use the start message. So you're going to click new bot. So you're going to create a new bot, right? All right, a new bot. How are you going to call it, right? So let's name it, I guess, proto prototype barber shop, right? There we go. So now we're gonna give it the username, right? So we're gonna create a username for that bot, right? And usually sometimes it does take time because sometimes there's the names already, a lot of them are taken, right? But you can always choose a random name that you want to choose, right? In our case, you can choose a random name uh for your bot that you may like, um with special characters, special numbers, whatever. So in my case, I'm gonna use um my last name, and then I'll use, I guess, um, my year that I was born. and then we're gonna use bots. See if that's available. There we go. So it's already available. We're good to go. And we have it here. So remember this username. And here it's going to give you the token. So this token is where you're going to use to actually connect it, right? So we're going to click the token here. We're going to name it here the username. Let's go back over here. So that way we can know this is going to be the username. Paste it here. There we go. Save it. And now we have successfully connected it. So let's execute the step. Stop listening. So you're gonna go over here to the Telegram. And you're gonna click on the chat. You're gonna start, right? So go over here. So it's listening right now. So once it's listening, send the first message, hi, and that will be pulled over here, which is not pulling it, but let's try again. Back. See. Give it a second. Refresh. Let's go ahead and add it again. Telegram. On message. Then we have that connected. Let's try again. Execute step. There we go. So I already sent the hi message. We send it twice and it's going to be executed. So now it's green. So now that we're here, we're going to change this. This is going to change here. And we're going to actually change it to define below. So we're going to add the prompt user message and we're going to actually add the text. So it's going to change here. We're going to add that text. And then the same thing here for simple memory. We're going to have to change this to on define below. And we're going to add the text as well. There we go. And actually, give me a second. There we go. Let's execute the step. We're going to click on the Telegram. Click hi. Let's see if this executes. So it executed successfully. And that lets you know that it's good to go. So we're going to click save. Now let's run it through Telegram. So let's go here. Let's minimize it a bit. All right, you guys. So now that we executed successfully, everything works successfully. Now let's go ahead and add the last Telegram node that we need to add so it can work and function properly. So let me show you real quick. Let's go over here. We're gonna click Telegram again, and this time we're just gonna use send a text message, right? So it's gonna be, let's see here, send a text message. So we're gonna use that, and we're gonna name it as the Trev send message, right? And the chat ID for the output, it's going to be the text, right? And this is what basically whenever you send like a message, you execute it by sending, let's say, hi or hello chat, whatever, or respond with the output, right? So with output, this is what the agent will respond, and then you'll set it up as your output, right? And then for the chat ID, it's really simple. You can get it from here. It will be from ID. So this will be your chat ID. You're gonna pull it from there. Once you click here, good to go there. So you click save, right? And we can set it as active. That way we can do a test one right now here shortly. And before anything, like mentioned, using cow.com, you're gonna get notifications, right? Because you built that workflow to get those notifications. Make sure that your workflow it's active, right? It's on. But prior to that, when we created this workflow, um, I had it set to um, before event starts, right? So before event starts, it's gonna actually whatever time you book your appointment for, it's gonna let you know 24 hours prior to that. But if you want the notification to work ASAP, right in the spot, right in the moment, you're gonna click when new event is booked. right? And you can always set it for different things when event is rescheduled, when routing form is submitted, or something like that, right? But in our case, when a new event is booked, we're gonna use that. We're gonna save it here. Once that's saved, we're good to go here. So let's open up Telegram and let's put hi. There we go. So it's gonna say, hey, hello again. You're testing one chat. So there we go. It's gonna work properly, right? Accordingly. So I added this thing here, append n8n attribution. So what this does is basically cleans up your conversation more. So it's not gonna show this message anymore. So you're gonna put what are the prices, and it's not gonna show that message anymore. So that's something you want, so that way it can look cleaner, more professional. It's gonna look better, right? And let's see, it's still there. Maybe because I haven't saved it. Give me a second. Let's save it. So don't forget to save it. Let me try again. Now we should be good. Yeah, so usually with n8n, one of the things is you have to save everything after you do it, so that way it can work properly on the next thing. Let me see. So it doesn't look like it's working. Try again. Maybe if I shut it off, shut it back on. Select the text. There we go. If it works now. It's not working. Why is that? Maybe if I shut it off. Try one more time. Because to be honest, I don't really pay attention to that. To that, usually, it's always on. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so I had to shut it off. You have to shut it off, and once it's off, it'll work, and you clean it up a little bit. So, anyways, let's book an appointment. Can I book an appointment? Right. So let's say we want to do an adult basic haircut for $25. So we're gonna book an appointment. It's gonna give us a link here. You're in luck. I got you covered. You can book an appointment here with this link, and then same thing with Stripe. The Stripe. You open up Stripe, it'll come out here. The amount. This is after your appointment, right? But for now, we're gonna use the book appointment, or when we actually book the appointment. So the client is gonna click on that link. They're gonna book the appointment. Let's say for tomorrow at 12. Depending the availability. Let's put John Doe. Put John Doe. Yes. And then email address. We can use that my generic email, business email, and we're gonna put haircut for $25, right? And then the phone number, you choose a phone number. I already have this saved, and once you click confirm, it's gonna book the appointment, and you're gonna get both an email and a message, right? Automatically, you always get an email, but as you can see here, see here, you're gonna see that we got the message and the email as well. So that's something that will be so cool and beneficial. You're gonna get the message, you're gonna get the email, and it's gonna be set up just how you set up your workflow, right? On the message you wanted to have. And yeah, so it's gonna have all the information, same information that's here, it's gonna come out on the email and it's gonna come out on the message, right? And also in the email, they can always reschedule or cancel the appointment by clicking reschedule or cancel, right? And you're also going to get another email notification letting you know that they rescheduled or they canceled the appointment, right? Or you can set up a workflow trigger that when they reschedule, you get a message that they're rescheduled, which will take more credits, but it's fine. You can do that as well, so you can customize it at your own liking. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is pretty much a simple AI barber agent that you can use to sell to businesses or specifically barbers, so they can have that set, right? Also, you can offer it to nail salons, anything that has to do with booking appointments, it could be used for that, right? And as you can see, it was pretty straightforward, pretty fast, pretty simple, and it doesn't take too much to do. And that's one of the best agents you can build for any business. I've done it before. I built it for a couple businesses, and it works fine, and it hasn't given me issues. The maintenance is super simple to maintain, and the fees are super cheap. So it's really useful. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Subscribe and If you guys want to learn more stuff, you can always comment below if you want to learn more stuff or something you have in mind. We can always get there. Thank you and have a great day.